So I feel like we're wearing the appropriate attire for today's video. We've got the black sweatshirt, we've got the black car, it's raining outside because we are celebrating the life of or mourning the loss of Skydio's consumer branch of their company. Now, this is going to be a very off-the-cuff video. I don't think there's even going to be any cuts. I just want to sit here and talk about the news, talk about what happened with Skydio, because they are now not making consumer drones anymore. They're only making enterprise professional drones for their customers in the commercial sector. Now, this came by way of their Instagram, so I first saw their Instagram post here, but I think you actually probably will want to read the blog post. It gives you a lot more information, so I'm going to leave a link to that down in the description. I myself am going to pull it up here on my phone if I'm able to find it. It's actually written directly by Adam himself, the CEO of Skydio, one of the people that actually founded the company, someone that made those original Skydio drones, those prototypes that then turned into the R1. So you kind of look at Skydio's past, right? And you look at their consumer drones. They first came out with the R1 that released in 2018, like spring of 2018. So that was their first fully autonomous consumer product that was available to purchase. And it was cool, right? It really wasn't the best drone, but it was more of like a proof of concept, right? It showed that what they had, the technology that they were working with, actually worked, that it could actually avoid obstacles and track a subject. And then about a year later, December of 2019 is when I released my first video with the Skydio 2. That was a much more refined drone, right? That was something that you could actually purchase and fly and use and take good photos and videos with, right? It was a really awesome drone, and now they aren't making any more consumer drones. I do want to read a quick excerpt here from the blog post that I think is kind of important. So it says here, the impact we're having with our enterprise and public sector customers has become so compelling that it demands nothing less than our full focus and attention. As a result, I, meaning Adam, have made the very difficult decision to sunset our consumer business in order to put everything we've got into serving our enterprise and public sector customers. And so that was end of the quote. I can't argue with him, right? Like, I think that drones for good is such a compelling argument as to why they want to sunset their consumer drones, right? They want to make sure that they can lean in to providing the best support to our police officers, to the military, to some of their other contracts. But it kind of leaves me, as somebody that really likes flying drones, feeling a little bit upset. I think that there's two things I'm personally feeling right now. It's disappointment and it's sadness. I'm a very nostalgic person. I love looking at drones I've flown in the past and thinking about the memories I've made with those drones, and the Skydio has been a fun drone to test. It's something that was so different. It's something that was so ahead of its time when it came out back in 2019. Yeah, 2019 is when that drone came out. It was a lot of fun to test. It was a lot of fun to fly. It was a lot of fun to play with. It was a lot of fun to show people, like being able to put the drone up and rip around on my skateboard and go, watch, it's not going to be able to crash. I remember I actually did a demo with some local police officers who have never seen a Skydio before. They were riding around a UTV. I had the Skydio track them. I threw the beacon inside of the cup holder and I said, just drive and it won't crash. They drove out probably what was a mile away through all of these woods, through all these buildings, and came back, and the drone was still following them. So that was a really cool experience to be able to show these guys, these people that are going to be using drones every single day, that, hey, look at what this drone can do. It's not going to crash. It's going to follow you no matter what you do. And I guess just telling that story right there shows why Skydio is moving in this direction, because their technology is going to be able to be used so well in all of these sectors, in inspections, in law enforcement, within the military. So I can understand where they're coming from, but I just look at what they've built and the brand that they have and can't help but think that there's so much more there. And that kind of brings me to my next feeling, which is disappointment. Like, Skydio was always that scrappy drone company, right? I remember their initial product reveal, or I guess commercial that they made for the Skydio 2 was a Phantom 4 crashing into a sign. And then it showed the Skydio flying all by itself. And it was like, wow, they really just took a shot at DJI right off the bat with their very first product launch video for their new drone, which was the Skydio 2. And again, I kind of consider that to be like their first drone, and I guess now their last consumer drone. So Again, I would recommend going and checking out this blog post. It definitely gives a lot more info than I'm going to give here. I kind of just want to share my thoughts moreover. Again, you know, it's like the disappointment just because I feel like there's so much left there. I feel like they have such a good brand name within the consumer drone space. I mean, think about how many product updates that they had given or firmware updates that they'd given to the Skydio 2 over its lifespan. They added new features. They gave it new functionality. They really took care of that drone from a software perspective to the point where I think a lot of people that owned that drone were wanting a new drone, right? There's so many people that own a Skydio 2 that are chomping at the bit to purchase a Skydio 3 to get that upgraded hardware. I mean, the software is there. The app is great. The flight experience is pretty good from what I gathered. It could have better range, but I just think that there's so much more left there. And now it's like, what are we left with? Like, what else is there available in the consumer market other than DJI? If you remember, back after CES 2023, so this year, I made a video about how the consumer drone market is dying, right? Like, there is now officially really no other alternative other than what DJI is putting out on the market. And I've got a video kind of in the works, more of like in a scripting phase, called DJI versus DJI, because that's where we're at right now. That's where we are at with the consumer drone space. There is really no other competition. You've got Skydio that just exited. You've got Parrot that exited a long time ago. You've got Autel that barely is putting out any drones that are worth talking about. I mean, they've got their Nano, they've got their Lite, and they've got the like Evo Pro, but they've got like the 3 different versions of it, all the different smart controllers. In my opinion, it's a convoluted mess. So right now, it's like, how can you recommend someone purchase any other drone than a DJI drone? Which is a shame, because competition is good. It fuels innovation. It's going to give people a choice. It's going to give people a different perspective on a drone. I mean, while I love to fly my DJI drones, I use them each and every single day, I enjoyed the Skydio for what it was, right? I enjoyed all of its quirks. I enjoyed all of the features that made it great. And now we're not going to be getting any more future updates, at least that I know of, to the Skydio 2. I mean, I read through here and it seems like they are committed to supporting people that already have the Skydio 2. They're going to try to keep stock as long as they can. But like, once those batteries get bought up, once those spare propellers get bought up, you're going to have to then turn to the used market. And then after a while, the drone platform is just going to kind of fizzle out. So look, I understand where Skydio's coming from. I know why they're doing what they're doing. I really am happy that they're pushing into this enterprise sector, but I wish that they could do that while also being able to create a nice consumer product for people to enjoy, because they do have a great brand name, great brand recognition, and I think a lot of people really enjoyed flying their drones. So hopefully this is just a speed bump. I mean, who knows, maybe in 5 years from now, after they have really kind of bolstered their enterprise offerings, they might say, hey, now that we have some time, let's go back to making consumer drones again. So we'll see what happens. But until then, it is just DJI versus DJI now. So let me know your thoughts on this down in the comment section below. Would love to hear your thoughts and feedback, and just kind of get in a conversation with those of you that maybe own a Skydio and are looking to do something in the future. I mean, what are you going to do now? What are you going to do? Are you going to go and buy another drone? Are you going to keep the Skydio 2? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know. And as always, I'll talk to you later. Peace.